Hello and welcome to Broken Entertainment. Today I'm gonna do a quick video here doing something I don't really want to do, but I feel like I've been left with no choice. Um, I'm gonna call out Games Workshop on their bullshit. So, Games Workshop posted this on their Warhammer community Twitter page, and nowhere else. It's not on their main page. It's not on their Facebook page, and I'll show you all this in a minute. It's also not on their Warhammer community page, which is the Twitter account it was posted to. Um, but let's go ahead and get into it. It's basically the form reply that we're seeing a lot of companies do all of a sudden, right? All of a sudden, they all care. All of a sudden, they're all posting these things about brand X does not condone hatred, prejudice, blah, blah, blah. Brand X apologizes for brand X does not accept the state of things, we're seeing these all over the place. It's so common and so similar. There's a meme going around about it. Here's the thing. If we read over this, they say one of the great powers of our hobby is its ability to bring people together in common cause, to build bonds and friendships that cross divides. We believe in support a community united by shared values of mutual kindness and respect. Yeah, I mean, no kidding. There's no strength to that statement at all. It's obvious. Um, what were they gonna do? Say, oh, we strongly support divided community and hatred. Come on. Um, I've been in this hobby for a really long time, and that's absolutely true. It does bring people together. It helped me get through high school. It helped me get through my best friend killing himself, and it does. It brings people together, but this doesn't. This pushes people apart, and we'll get to why. But when you come out with this statement, they've never stated anything like this before. They didn't have to. It was understood. Obviously, um, they don't condone prejudice and hatred. Who does? Who's going around other than some extreme lunatic groups on both sides? Who's going around saying, "Oh yeah, I really like prejudice. Woohoo!" Um, you you get this. It's obvious. It's not. Doesn't need to be stated. Everyone knows it. Everyone understands it. Go into a gaming store when you can and just start. When you see a 40K table, if you don't play, just go in and just start talking to people about it while they're playing. They will they will talk your ear off. They love it. They don't care. They won't care if you're a woman. They won't care what color your skin is, and they won't care who you're sleeping with. They won't care what you identify as. They'll just be happy to talk about their hobby. They'll probably try to convince you to start. It's a great, by and large, every community has its downsides. Every community has its bad apples, right? But by and large, it's a really good community. Um, so let's go ahead and continue here. Our fantasy settings are grim and dark, but not a reflection of who we are or how we feel the real world should be. Well, your Warhammer fantasy setting was grim and dark. Your Age of Sigmar setting is just bad. Sorry. Um, it's poorly fleshed out. When it came out, you had done basically no world building, and it's not dark. It's not. You have metal head looking dwarves riding hot air balloons into battle. Don't give me the dark stuff. 40K certainly grim and dark. Um, but anyway, we will never accept nor condone any form of prejudice, hatred, or abuse in our company or in the Warhammer hobby. Yeah, okay, who does? What does that statement accomplish? Are you just. This is just being thrown out to a specific audience to make sure they don't come after them. This is posted, look where it's posted. They posted it on Twitter, where people are running around in big digital mobs trying to get people canceled and get people fired and go after people for saying the wrong thing. Sean Gordon Murphy, if you don't follow comics, he's a great comics writer and a great artist, and he came out and he's had to apologize twice, I think, now, for one statement where he said, paraphrasing, bad cops are bad, good cops are good, protesting is good, rioting is bad. He had to apologize for that because of these jackholes running around on Twitter. That's who they're throwing this out to. Otherwise, if they really felt strongly about what's going on, it would be on Facebook, it would be on their main page, it would be on their community page. It's not. It's on Twitter. Think about that for a minute. So the statement goes on, we will continue to diversify the cast of characters we portray through miniatures, art, and storytelling, so everyone can find representation in heroes they can relate to. One of the great strengths of Warhammer 40k in particular is it's a gigantic setting in which identity, in terms of skin color and gender, doesn't matter to anyone. The Imperium doesn't care what color you are. The Imperium doesn't care what gender you are. The Imperial Guard consists of everyone. They draft everyone they can get their hands on and stick a lasgun. Give a lasgun to in a flak vest. And, if they feel like giving them the flak vest. That's the beauty of 40k. You can tell any story about anyone, and it can be as diverse as you want because it's a diverse setting naturally and on its own. There are female guardsmen, there are male guardsmen, I guarantee you there are homosexual guardsmen. There are everything. Everything is in the guard. Everything is in the psyker schools. Everything is everywhere. You have a whole army of nothing but women and Sisters of Battle. You have Black Space Marines, White Space Marines, Asian Space Marines. Technically, really, in 40k, the skin color should be so mixed that there is no definable race at all. There's some pictures out there of what humans will look like in X number of years, and the skin color is kind of this, it's a darkened tone, but it's not, I guess you could describe it as vaguely ethnic, because eventually everyone's going to interbreed everywhere and race will cease to exist. Technically 40k should be there. It's not, but that's okay. Point being, everything is in 40k. You don't need to do anything to it to tell diverse stories. You just need to tell stories and bring in characters. That's it. As far as their miniatures, I actually agree they need to diversify their miniatures because I just got done saying the Imperial Guard is everything, right? Well, when did they start portraying the Imperial Guard the way we know from the descriptions of the setting going back to the 80s as everything? In the last 5 years? 6 years? Before then, everybody in Guard was mysteriously male, even though we knew in the setting that wasn't true. In the models, all the models are male, with a couple of exceptions for Guard. That needs to be fixed because it doesn't represent Guard at all. It represents a fraction of the Guard, right? And it's not that hard for them to make female Guard models. They have female Eldar models, female Dark Eldar models. They don't have female orcs, because orcs are non-gendered. Or non-sexed, I guess, technically, because they are kind of masculine gender. But anyway, what they need to do is bring that out. They need to highlight that, and that would be great. As far as making sure everyone feels represented. I'm sorry if you don't feel represented in 40K, you're not looking at it the right way, because trust me, you are. Everyone is in 40K. And the beauty of the setting is that you can fill in the blank with your own story. They used to really strongly encourage that. They don't as much anymore. We'll see what 9th edition does with this new narrative style focus. But if it wasn't there, you could write it, right? You could make a story for your army. I used to go to tournaments before 5th edition kind of killed it, but there were people with all kinds of armies. They converted them, they painted them the way they wanted to. People used to show up with background story packets to tournaments. Everything is there. You don't need to emphasize it. You don't need to ham fist things into it because it's already there. Just make the characters. Just write stories and have good characters. And if the character is black, or if the character is female, or if the character is homosexual, or whatever, as a part of their character, no one will care. Because it's been there from the start. It's a part of the setting. The Imperium doesn't give two craps. But when you talk like this, you make it sound like you're going to ham fist it all in there. And suddenly the skin color is going to be a big deal, and gender is going to be a big deal, and the sexual orientation is going to be a big deal. In a setting where no one cares at all. In its own weird way, that part of the 40K setting is almost utopic, because we all want that, right? Aside from the extremist groups, we all want no one to give a rat's ass. People in 40K don't see any of that because it doesn't matter. They have other concerns, and everything has been around for so long, and they've all mixed together. It doesn't really matter. You'll get planets that are specific. I forget the name of the White Scar's homeworld, but it's typically Asian, right? So I guess, humanity kind of blended together and it pulled apart. And you got isolated worlds where you got specific skin tones, that kind of thing. But no one cares, and it's great. That part of it's like Star Trek, where no one cared. It was like, okay, yeah, you're black, no one cares, no one noticed. Okay, great. That's what we want, right? 100% equality. It's already there. Of course, if you go and look at the Games Workshop website and actually look at their painted models, right? You go army by army.